had some basketball. We got some basketball tonight. We're going to get to it right now. Oh, it's the rivalry. Which it's not, but that's all right. Celtics, Lakers. It was Pat Riley Day, y'all. Celtics did not seem to care about that at all. Nice little win. They sweep the series.
Oh, no, man down.
He did some stuff last night.
Oh, my God.
Peyton Pritchard had 30 points, 10 of 14 from the field,
killer.
6 of 9 of threes. Doncic finished with 25. Second lowest point total of the season for Los Angeles, which is crazy. Afterwards, though, we're talking a little Jaylen Brown first. LeBron James was asked about him. It was a pretty long soundbite, but the part that we want to discuss is whether or not, he's being discussed enough in the MVP conversation. And LeBron said he doesn't understand why it's not happening more and that it's just simply a popularity contest. But he is being discussed in the MVP contest, is he not?
It's getting louder.
I think it's getting louder.
It's getting louder. I can say that if the impact that he's having on Boston and the way that he's playing right now, if this was a couple of other different guys, we would be having a different conversation. We know JB, he's had his issues with the league and whatnot about, some social injustice issues here and there. And, that's another conversation. But from a basketball standpoint, he is now, down to the fact of that first time that, he kind of made a fuss about not winning Player of the Month in the Eastern Conference when he was probably rightfully so. He should have been that, and then went on to go to make a point and go do it in the next month. And we had the Boston Celtics buried, right? We thought that they weren't going to have the impact that they had as a champion with Jason Tatum being out of the lineup, and JB stepped up. So, those conversations are getting louder and louder, and that's what I love about the NBA. These things change and narratives change on a day-to-day basis. The season is so long and we have so many great players that this changes. We started the season with a race between SGA and Jokic. Now Cade Cunningham has entered the chat. Now Jaylen Brown has entered the chat. Ant-Man has entered the chat. And that's what we love about the NBA. So is it loud? Would it be louder for other guys? Yeah, we'd be fooling ourselves to say that it wouldn't be. But now it's go time, and JB is stepping up and putting his name in that conversation.
Yeah, I think just like the
shock. By the way, we
we
literally said this. Boogie said this on Friday.
We said this last week.
Absolutely.
Jaylen Brown and Cade Cunningham, they should be more in the talks.
Cade should be one.
How are you voting for it, right? So if you're looking at the MVP of that, who means the most to that team, you got to talk about Jaylen Brown just because this team was counted out. When you lose a guy like Jason Tatum, Drew Holiday, Porzingis, everyone completely counted them out.
This was supposed to be a gap year for them.
Exactly. And now this dude has completely just shifted that. Now they're still contenders. Now they're right there at the 2 seed in the Eastern Conference. It's ridiculous what he's doing. And he's a two-way player. He does it on both sides of the ball. He can play multiple positions. So I agree. I think him and Cade Cunningham, I think you just know that Jokic and SGA are the best 2 players in the NBA, right? They're 1 and 2. But that doesn't mean necessarily the MVP.
They were grandfathered in because of the
Exactly.
race last year and because they are the back-to-back MVPs. And to be fair, they still have pretty gaudy numbers.
Yeah.
Jokic is still I think he leads in assists and also rebounds. And then you got SGA, who's top 2 in scoring. They still deserve to be part of this conversation. But when we started talking about the impact other guys have on their teams that you wouldn't necessarily expect to be in the positions that they're in, that's where Jaylen Brown comes in. That's where Cade Cunningham also comes into this conversation. So rightfully so, it's a 4 to a 5-man race right now, opposed to 2, and it's deserving for all 4 of those guys.
I need the voters to think outside the box when it comes time to actually do this, right? Just let's not do what's expected. Let's be real about it.
I think you need to reward a Cade Cunningham or Jaylen Brown more so than the guy that the expectations is to do that, and they have a great team going into it. No one thought the Pistons were going to be this good, and no one thought the Celtics were going to be this good. To me, that is the MVP type season where, again, you can't go wrong with SGA and Jokic. Those are the number 1 and number 2 players in the NBA. I don't think anyone would argue that. But these guys, to their team and to this season,
That's what it is.
I'm going Cade Cunningham, but yeah, exactly. It's not. If it was the best player award, LeBron James would have 15 MVPs.
And also, CP, we live in a "what have you done for me lately" world.
Yeah.
We're going on about 3 weeks of not seeing SGA while these guys are going on.
I forgot about him.
Yeah, while these guys are going on a tear. That's just how we work. These guys are going on a tear. We hadn't seen them in 3 weeks. Jokic has been out there. His numbers are still gaudy, but they're in a little bit of a slide, in a bit of a tough spot. And Boston Celtics look like they're doing whatever they want to do. Detroit Pistons, they look like they're doing whatever they want to do. And so this thing is going to change by week. It's called a race for a reason. Somebody's going to win at some point. Somebody's going to lose. Some people are going to catch up. Some people are going to lag back. That's why it's called an MVP race. So I love where we are right now.
You know what's crazy is the Thunder, we're talking about how this team's going to break possibly the record a month ago, right? They damn near have the same record as the Detroit Pistons. Like, so what's more impressive? Cade Cunningham, the Detroit Pistons doing that, or the team that won it last year we talked about breaking the record?
You don't convince me.
Again, when you have to look at it now and you look at where they are, the Thunder are 44-14, the Pistons are 42-13. Like, to me, that is bananas.
By the way, in that same soundbite, LeBron, and I could not agree with him more on this, he was like, I don't really understand what the qualifications are anymore. You guys know I have my issues with the MVP award. And because, like you said, he probably should have a bunch more.
MVP is weird, most improved is weird, all those awards.
What are we talking
about? But I think this year we're starting to kind of find a middle ground. I think it's about impact. It's not just about numbers. It's about impact.
We're gonna find out.
Yeah, it's about impact to me. Like, Jaylen Brown doesn't have Jokic numbers, but his impact is off the charts right now. Cade Cunningham doesn't have SGA numbers as far as scoring goes, but his impact is there. You know what I mean? And so that's going to be the difference. It is somewhat of a popularity contest, but all of these guys are popular.
Yeah.
You know,
I just think people are brainwashed. They're like, I have to
it's
vote
just
for SGA,
who is most valuable
also,
to their team. That, like, SGA.
But every year we do this.
Their team is good regardless, I think. I mean, obviously, they're great with SGA.
We just saw them yesterday.
The Pistons are not that good without Cade Cunningham. Like, that to me is that's why he's the MVP.
We are starting. This is it. This is the show where Cade Cunningham's going to be the MVP. We're going to start.
I like the fact that it's not just a two-man race anymore, though. I like that other guys are throwing their names in his hat now. We have action now. We have a lot a good basketball to look forward to in the second half of the season.
I'm okay with Jaylen Brown. I'm okay with all these guys.
You can say Jaylen Brown is your MVP runner.
No problem.
Front runner right now with no problem, with no criticism.
How come the Spurs don't get one? They're like, anyways, we'll get to that.
Because the race for Sace.
They've won 8 in a row.
Well, he don't want to be Sace in this conversation.
He's in Sace's place for MVP.
He's in Sace's place right now.
God, I hate you. Okay, by the way, it got a little kind of interesting last night because I don't know if you guys remember way back in 2024 at Summer League when Jaylen Brown was overheard saying, I don't think Bronny is a pro. This is obviously the time when we were all chatting. And somehow that comes up yesterday in talking to LeBron, and he said basically that their relationship is respectful outside of the poop he said about Bronny.
You know what? I like the fact that he just answered it because it's clearly what the reporter was talking about was about the relationship.
It was the elephant in the room.
He just addressed it head on. So I respect that LeBron did that. Like, don't even let this linger. Don't even give this reporter just answer it and just move on with it.
He's a dad.
And was honest.
And again,
besides what he said about my son, other than that, we cool.
And that's genuine. You're talking trash about my son. How about that? I didn't curse. I was talking trash.
Look at us growing.
Talking trash about my son. Like, of course, I don't care if you're the best player of all time or if you're the mailman. Like, you're still going to respect and and get your sons back. It's exactly what he did here, even though it was a long time ago and no one's brought it up besides that reporter.
Crazy. I know, it was kind of weird. I had to think back. I'm like, I forgot that
Well, it worked.
Happened.
We're talking about it. So shout out to the reporter,
We're talking about it. Shout out, guy, person. By the way, I did mention it was